Today on Fresno State Focus, we remember an art department faculty member who died this past weekend.
Also, we'll show you how to stay alert and informed in the case of a campus emergency.
Plus, I had the chance to get up close and personal with a local artist hoping to give back to the community.
Fresno State Focus starts now.
Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Audrianna Ferri.
And I'm Andrew Worth. Monday morning, several students received an email claiming to be Fresno State, stating that their account would be deactivated. 2%. According to the email, the student had exceeded the storage limit that is set by the email administrator. There was a link in which students had to click in order to reactivate their account. Those who did found out it was spam. If you too received this email and opened the link, change your password immediately at password.csufresno.edu. Then call the help desk at 559-278-5000. Remember that all emails coming from administrators at Fresno State should always end with @csufresno.edu.
An update now on a story we brought you during last week's Fresno State Focus. UCLA student Eric Marquez and Fresno State student Alberto Medina have pleaded not guilty to charges of murder, arson, and burglary. Marquez and Medina are accused of murdering UCLA student Andrea Del Vesco on September 21st. Their next court date is set for October 22nd.
Last week, there was a tragic shooting at Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon. 26-year-old Christopher Harper Mercer was a student at the community college where he shot and killed 9 of his classmates and injured 9 others before taking his own life. Harper Mercer's mother said that she did know of his battle with Asperger's and allowed her son to have guns, but never expected any problems to arise. With tragic events such as these happening so often, being proactive and having a plan is one way to being prepared. This past summer, Fresno State took a huge step forward in campus security. Along with the special class phones and speakers that are already around campus, a new text line called Bulldog Alert was created. Here with us today is Amy Luna, Manager of Emergency Operations at Fresno State. Hello, Amy, and welcome.
Hi, Andrew.
So, can you give us a little rundown as to what Bulldog Alert is?
Bulldog Alert is an emergency text alert notification that all faculty, staff, and students are registered for. We pull the data out of the PeopleSoft portal, your student portal, and from there we're able to send you a text message alerting you of an emergency situation on campus.
All right, so let's say that something on campus does happen, like there's a live shooter or something. What if a student wants to get that to the police right away? Is there like a hotline or a phone number that they can call?
Yeah, the police department does have an anonymous tip line. It's called Tip Now, and you're able to send text messages to the police department. If you are able to call, you can always call the campus police at 278-8400 or send a text message through the Tip Now line.
Awesome. So hopefully you know this answer, but do you know why Fresno State decided they wanted to invest in this kind of system?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, text alerts are nothing new, and it's something that we have evaluated on a regular basis for the past 10 years when the technology first came out for mass texting. And we consistently reviewed the data and looked for a vendor that would work well with our campus and meet the needs that we had here. And so we decided to go ahead and roll out Bulldog Alert this semester because we found something that would work with the student portal and that has been tested and used by other CSUs, so we know that it's successful.
All right, so this is for all the students that maybe are unaware. What should they do if they don't know if their cell phone number is in the system to get the alerts?
So you would just log into your My Fresno State portal and go under your student information and under your personal information where your contact information is listed, ensure that your cell phone number is listed under mobile number, not any of the other listings such as home or work, but make sure it's listed under mobile, and then we're able to extract it from there and send you a text message.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We've been speaking with Amy Luna, Emergency Operations Manager for Fresno State.
ASI's contract with campus radio station KFSR is up in the air after ASI senators voted 6-1 to reject it. Aldanae Williams tells us KFSR is exploring the possibility of a revised contract for the spring semester.
ASI says the issue is over the type of music the radio station plays.
Right now, KFSR plays jazz, blues, country, and even reggae. But ASI says that's not what the students want to hear. And they say that's why Fresno State students are not listening to the station.
We just didn't feel like we needed to have a radio show for students that wasn't really being heard by students.
Cameron Patterson was the only senator to vote in favor of the $8,000 contract.
Well, I was kind of on the fence about it until I heard the personal narrative of the young man who stopped in the ASI meeting 2 Wednesdays ago, and I had heard that narrative all too often.
That young man was student DJ Joseph Castellon. He says students are listening, but their voices are not being heard. Castellon also commends KFSR for their hands-on experiences in the station.
For me, this is where I want to go and spend the rest of my life. I am learning from industry professionals.
Arts and Humanities Dean Jose Diaz spoke before the Student Senate last month when they discussed the contract issue. He said KFSR is reimagining itself to get more students involved.
The contract's going to be redrawn so that it better reflects the current policies of the station and what we're intending to do, and that's to make the station an integral part of campus.
Diaz says the Mass Communication and Journalism Department has plans to introduce new courses that will give students hands-on experience at the station. KFSR says it's working to finalize additional plans that will help re-engage the student population. Aldine Williams, Fresno State Focus.
If you've been to Fresno's Tower District lately, you've probably seen one of Brian Cade's performances. He's only 23 years old, but he's already making waves in the local music scene. And he sat down with me to talk about his new album and his effort to stay positive in the modern music era.
It's 5, 6, 7. All day thinking about calling you.
23-year-old local hip-hop artist Brian Cade has no problem belting out a tune. But if you get to know him, you'll find his talent goes far beyond making music.
My title is an optimistic visionary. That's what I am.
That's awesome.
That's what I really like that. I put it on my Twitter, so.
They may just be words in a bio, but optimism and positivity are principles Cade lives by every day.
Me personally, I feel like my positivity does come from my family. And just the fact that there are so many negative people in the world that I don't want to be part of that statistic. I want to be on the other side.
Cade was born in Tulare in 1992. His mom says as a kid he spent much of his time singing in school plays and in front of his family.
I used to stop everybody, wait, Brian has a song, we need to do this, so, and everyone used to always get into it, go Brian, go B, from the time he was really, really small, and just, it's grown from there, it's just grown from there.
His passion for performing continued through high school when he tried out for the Next Big Thing talent show. He won the competition and the opportunity to open up for a major artist at the big Fresno Fair.
I think back then, when I opened for Jason Derulo, probably was when I figured out, this is what I want to be my career.
Since then, Cade hasn't stopped making music, and he continues his effort to spread peace and love with every song.
Fresno Soap Co. is just one of several venues throughout the city where Brian puts on performances for local music lovers.
Cade is currently working on his album, Who is Brian Cade? His producer, Nathaniel Livingston, says there's a mix of old school jams and modern music.
It's just a really feel-good album. He tried some really eclectic stuff. He tried some, a little bit of EDM is mixed in there. I hear a little soul. I hear some of the throwbacks, some of the new stuff. It's kind of like a gumbo.
Cade says he's hoping his album will be released by the end of the year. Until then, follow him on Twitter @BrianCade1 to see where he'll be performing next.
This past weekend, a Fresno State faculty member was involved in a fatal cycling accident. Edward Lund died Saturday while riding in a charity bike race in Sonoma County. Lund served as the gallery technician at the Conley Art Center for the past 6 years. Faculty member Edward Gillum recalled a touching conversation he had with Lund.
But I'll never forget the one thing he said to me one day. We were in the gallery and he said, when I was a little kid, my dad was teaching here. I used to come up into this gallery all the time. And I always dreamt of someday I was going to grow up and run this gallery. I hold that as probably the most precious story that I ever heard from him.
A memorial service will be held on Saturday at the Leon and Pete Peters Education Center from 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Later this month, we will look back on what he meant to the art department and the legacy he left behind.
I am Fresno State, and I'm going to show you why. Here's the beautiful and newly constructed Henry Madden Library, which has a massive collection. The Save Mart Center, which is our sports venue and one of the best attended in the entire country. We're absolute pioneers in the agricultural sciences, having led to the production of the first university winery and drawing in a diversity of students to achieve academic success over the past 100 years. And you know, I wish I had time to tell you about everything else, but in reality, I think you're just going to have to come see for yourself.
I am, and always will be.
It's fall, but it feels like late summer outside. If we take a look at our satellite map, over on the east side, we have not very much activity, and that's probably because Hurricane Joaquin has made its way east into the North Atlantic. If we move over to the west coast and we look at Washington and Oregon, we can see some rain activity there that's going to be bringing in a low pressure system. That low pressure system is going to move east and bring in some cooling over the Central Valley. Right now we have a high pressure system moving in towards the east, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring some ideal temperatures to the Central Valley for the opening of the big Fresno Fair. And speaking of ideal temperatures, right now we are in the 80s for the most part, so it's going to be a very nice day, and it's going to continue to be a good day. So, air quality, we're mostly moderate throughout the Central Valley, and San Joaquin is looking at some really good air quality right now, which is good considering all the fires we have had throughout this year so far. So as I said before, it's the opening of the big Fresno Fair. It's the opening of the big Fresno Fair. Today we have 86 degrees, and we have some nice calm weathers that are moving in from the northwest with a relative humidity of 42 degrees. So if we look at today and tomorrow, we're going to be in the mid and higher 80s. So right now we have some cloud coverage, and it's mostly sunny, so it's pretty good. It's looking pretty good. For the weekend, we're actually going to be going into the lower and mid 90s. So it's going to be some good weather, but you better break out your sunblock if you're planning to go to the Fresno Fair or if you're just planning to go out in general. For the rest of the week, we're looking at lower to mid 90s as well, mostly sunny, some cloud coverage. But once that cool low pressure moves in, we're going to have some really nice, refreshing temperatures. Now, Dayana Giselle with entertainment news.
Thanks, Gilbert. It's the first week of October, so that could only mean one thing. It's fair season in the Central Valley. The big Fresno Fair is now open and filled with hundreds of different food vendors, giving fairgoers a wide selection of treats, like churros, fish and chips, and even gelato. However, there's one award-winning business that keeps customers coming back for over 30 years.
But it's what we all do. It's how we all support our families. We start doing fairs in February. We end in October here in Fresno. It takes all of us to really put this fair on, this business on, rather.
Country Fair Cinnamon Rolls has been featured on channels like the Food Network and the Cooking Channel. You can catch them and other food vendors at the Fresno Fair through October 18th. Fresno State students and community members attended a reading by authors and journalists Jen Percy and Carrie Howley, who both write creative nonfiction stories, but reporter Cox Odia shows us how the two are very different.
Would it be crazy, one said, if the Iraqis shoved a bomb in this chicken and we all just blew up and died?
Authors Percy and Howley stopped by Fresno State to read passages from their books. Throne, written by Howley, is about a mixed martial artist. Percy's book, Demon Camp, is about a soldier's battle with PTSD. She was drawn to learn about the soldier and his health condition.
I guess my interest started based on an article I read in a newspaper that was about a man talking to a ghost.
Percy traveled to Afghanistan to research soldiers and get a good feel of what they went through. She saw the poverty, the prostitution, and the difficulties that the Afghan people went through in their daily lives.
Percy, who is also an amazing magazine writer, has influenced aspiring novelist Tara Williams, who came to hear the author speak.
I think it's always a really good thing for writers to hear other writers read,
and to be exposed to as many different authors as possible. And I'm hoping to be entertained and inspired.
Student Megan Bronson says she enjoyed the atmosphere and the feel of the reading.
Just really well. I love that the lighting seemed to match the mood. The intensity was just all there in the words and like the entire room.
At the end of the reading, the authors opened the session up for discussion and interaction with the audience, and they held a book signing. Cox Odia, Fresno State Focus.
Fresno State's production of Yellow Man has opened its doors. It's a play that touches on the issues of discrimination within its own race. Joshua Slack is one of the 4 cast members.
Colorism within the African American community, as far as like light skin versus dark skin, and like it touches on issues that are kind of more bigger than that, but that's the main focus, I guess, of the play.
Joshua Slack is one of the 4 cast members who play multiple roles. You can now catch the play here at Fresno State through October 10th at 7:30 p.m. in Fresno State's Woods Theater. $70 for the general public and $10 for Fresno State students. It's homecoming week here at Fresno State. We have plenty of events going on leading up to the big football game against Utah State, and school spirit is in the air. I asked students on campus what it means to have Bulldog pride.
Just kind of seeing people around campus, seeing those people in that other Bulldog shirt, and just knowing that you're a part of something bigger than yourself, and being able to kind of bond over that experience.
It means being a part of a huge community that's trying to do great things, achieve higher education, get out, help the surrounding community around Fresno State.
Having Bulldog Pride means coming on campus and loving this university and loving our Bulldog and our little puppy, which is really cute, and just kind of knowing that this university is here for you and that we're here for the university.
The homecoming game goes down this Saturday in the Bulldog Stadium at 7:30 p.m. And at here, we'll finally be seeing the Bulldog blimp. I'm Dayana Giselle, and that's your entertainment news.
Thank you, Dayana. Fresno State's Henry Madden Library has opened its newest exhibition, Farm to Fork, Food Family Farming. It spotlights immigration history and agricultural contributions of some of the Valley's ethnic populations. And joining us now is Tammy Lau of the Library's Special Collections Research Center. Thank you, Tammy, for being here.
Pleasure.
So tell us, what is in the exhibit? What kind of items can we see if we go in there?
Well, first I want to credit the Tulare County Museum in Visalia. Without them, we would never have an exhibit. There's a lot of antique farming equipment, some of which have really made this valley what it is today. So I really want to highlight that. We have panels of information about different ethnic groups, as you mentioned, and we have some old kitchen implements, which I think students will find interesting.
Awesome. What has the response been so far? What have you seen from students and faculty members who have been in to see it?
I've seen a lot of students stop by and look around, which is encouraging because a lot of times we have exhibits that they ignore. So that's been great, and some classes have actually come through, and I think they might be doing some assignments. So that's exciting. I think it's generated a lot more interest in the library and what our collections are, and pointed out that we have a great connection to our agricultural history, and we care about that.
And we have some events going on, and the first in a series of events is this weekend, the Great Grape event. Can you tell me a bit about that? What can we expect if we go out there?
Yeah, we're open to the public. We hope all the faculty and students come out. It's going to have wine tastings and samples of grapes and raisins. We're going to have Fresno State ice cream samples. There's going to be a raisin story time for kids. So it's a nice family event. We hope all the alumni come out as well. And parking is free, which was quite a feat for homecoming.
Right?
Yeah, for homecoming. So 10 to 2. And also I'll be doing giveaways. I have a little wheel that people can spin. And if they want to walk over to the library, which will be open, we're going to be giving away prizes as incentive to come and see the exhibit while the Great Grape event is on.
And what are you hoping people learn from this exhibition overall? What are you hoping people take away from it?
Again, I hope they realize that the library has a great interest in our agricultural history and that we care, and we really want to preserve that, and we really want to celebrate families and their contributions to the Valley.
Thank you so much for being here, Tammy. I appreciate it. We've been talking with Tammy Lau of the Library's Special Collections Research Center.
A shelter animal would make a great addition to any home. Those who are not aware don't realize what they are missing out on. October is National Dog Adoption Awareness Month. This month is dedicated to dogs nationwide in hopes of finding a loving home. Shelter spokesman Walter Salvari hopes that more animals will have the chance to be adopted this year.
locally here at the shelter and rescue about 125 of those, which go to rescue organizations locally or throughout the nation. And with those numbers, though, we still have high amount of animals that are euthanized here at the shelter.
Salvari also said that during October, many centers offer lower adoption fees and discounts on health services. For more information, please visit ccspca.com. Students, are you bored in the afternoons? Are you convinced there's nothing to do in Fresno? Well, think again. The Bulldog Bowl at Fresno State has everything you could need for a fun afternoon with friends or by yourself. Fabiola Ramirez has the sights and sounds.
I started barely playing last semester, my first year coming. First time playing ever, and I've been playing ever since. I like it, it's pretty fun.
Well, we have 12 bowling lanes. They get a lot of use. We have 13 billiards tables. We have an Xbox room where the students can come in and check out games. And then we have a new arcade.
I feel that at times students need to distress and just come, have fun, you know, kind of forget about school for a bit, and then after you recharge, you can go back and study. And this is a space that provides that. And I don't think that any other space on campus provides that on a daily basis.
I'm so sad I've never had a chance to experience that bowling alley. Have you been in there?
Oh yeah, I took a class in the bowling alley. I've gone down there for just events, and the bowling alley and the billiards is pretty cool.
I'll have to check it out. Coming up next in sports, how Coach DeRuiter and the Bulldogs are preparing for their conference home opener this weekend.
Also, Fresno State junior Brooke Legault will join us for a mid-season Bulldog volleyball update. Stay tuned for sports with Phillip Benotti.
So you decided to go to Fresno State. Good for you. But you were too insecure to show Fresno State pride? That's a problem. Because you never bothered to show pride in your school, you are shunned by other students. Professors can smell the stench of impending failure on you and take no pity. Even the mass communication students agree you have no future. But all of this could have been avoided if you simply showed your pride for Fresno State.
I am Fresno State.
Fresno State pride. Show it or face the consequences.
I got the Bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head.
Up in my head.
I got that Bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that Bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes, I got that Bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey! Down in my toes to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart. Down in my toes, I got that Bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that Bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that Bulldog spirit.
State football team has faced a tough couple of road games, but now they're coming home. The Dogs will face Utah State this weekend at Bulldog Stadium. Despite the previous results, the Dogs have been working hard at practice, getting ready for the homecoming game. The last time Fresno State faced Utah State was the Mountain West Championship game in 2013. Defensive leader Ejiro Adarain feels Utah State hasn't forgotten about that game.
I think I know if the shoe was on the other foot, I definitely still have that thought in my head that last time we came here we lost here for a championship. So I know those guys are going to come, come ready.
Fresno State is seeking its first Mountain West Conference win of the season. The game is this Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. The Lady Bulldogs are well into conference play this volleyball season with their second conference home game tomorrow night against the Nevada Wolfpack. Joining me to talk about the season is junior setter Brooke Legault. Thanks for being here, Brooke.
Thank you for having me.
All right, well, I see you're fresh off of practice.
I am.
What are you guys doing to prepare for Nevada?
Well, in the prior days to game time, we watch a lot of film and practice what the other team likes to run. So hopefully game time, we're able to stop it and take care of business.
Well, what does it mean after a couple road games? What does it mean to come back home in the Save Mart Center?
It's always so great playing the Save Mart Center. Just the atmosphere, the community, the crowd, the energy. It's definitely an advantage playing a home game, and we're excited to get back in the Save Mart Center.
And conference home games are very, very important to moving up in the standings. So what do you feel about that?
You know, I think that we've really shown that we can fight and we're Bulldog tough, and the matches that we've lost so far have been in 5. And so obviously we're not going to go down without a fight, and we're ready to get a win in the Save Mart Center tomorrow.
Now, there's only 2 seniors on this team, and you guys are pretty young as a unit. What does that mean for the future of this program?
I think that means that we're going to be awesome in the years come. I think this season we've already had a lot of chemistry, and the seniors have been able to show the youngins the ropes, and we're all on the same page and ready to work hard for this program.
What are the keys to being successful as a team? What does it take to be a very good volleyball team?
I think the number one thing is hard work and effort. I think that outdoes talent any day, and we've really ingrained the young people that that's what this program is about, is being Bulldog tough.
And those senior leaders are stepping up and making sure those underclassmen are getting the understanding what it needs to be a good volleyball team.
Yeah, Zayna and Yelena have been doing a great job to do that.
Cool. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us here at Fresno State Focus. We have been talking to Fresno State volleyball player Brooke Legault. This past weekend, Fresno State Marching Band traveled to San Diego to support their Bulldogs, but the band had another opportunity to showcase its skills at the NFL level. I talked with some of the band members before they hit the road.
1, 2, 3.
This is freshman Calvin Suri-Sukarn's first year in the Bulldog Marching Band, and he's getting ready for an experience of a lifetime. For the first time ever, the band is performing at an NFL game.
Oh gosh, knowing that that's the first, that's actually really more scary, like a lot more scary.
Suri-Sukarn comes from Clovis High, where he performed in front of only a couple thousand people. And the Bulldog Marching Band has performed in NFL stadiums such as Candlestick and Qualcomm, but never in front of 70,000 fans at an NFL game. That is until this past weekend. Band director Steve McKeithen is the man who made it happen.
Director at San Diego State. I've known him for a few years and called him when we started talking about the possibilities of the halftime performance at San Diego State. And then during that conversation, I found out he also helps coordinate the Chargers events as well. So it's kind of a one-stop shop where I could just talk to Brian and do both things.
And they were able to accomplish both of those things, playing at the San Diego State game on Saturday night and later on that weekend against the San Diego Chargers. For Calvin, this may have been an eye-opening experience, but for Band Council President Jasmine Escovedo, this was business as usual for a veteran like her.
As a veteran member, I try and exemplify what it means to be a Bulldog Marching Band member. I am always excited. I am always for the hype. I know my music. I am prepared to play when I need to play. I carry myself professionally because I am an ambassador for the university.
As for the potential impact this trip had for the band, McKeithen felt that this could open doors for even bigger possibilities.
Some of the guys that will be coordinating this are also involved with the Super Bowl, and we've been in long-term discussions with them about being the college band that performs at the Super Bowl.
Our college band is what second-year director Steve McKeithen plans to bring on an annual basis. Who knows where the band will be marching next?
That's pretty awesome, Phil. Did you get to go down to San Diego with them?
Yeah, you know what? I got on the bus with the marching band bright and early, 7 in the morning. Cool. We left and got to the San Diego State game, and the next morning woke up, went to the Charger game. It was a lot of fun.
That must have been quite an atmosphere.
Oh yeah, the marching band members were very excited. They were all, I know it's an 8-hour bus ride, but they all were pretty hyped all the way down. So, but yeah.
Next week on Fresno State Focus, we'll find out who was recognized as this year's distinguished alumna at the Top Dog Alumni Gala.
Plus, I'll take you on a journey through the life of an African pot headed to Fresno's Chaffee Zoo.
Also, learn about Fresno State's new furry friend, Victor E. III, and what his personality and what we think about him.
From all of us here at Fresno State Focus, I'm Andrew Worth. Thank you for joining us and have a great night.